Hi, welcome to She Spice. That was Garcelle B discussing her short, close connection with Will Smith, which came as a shock to fans in light of the fact that nobody thought they knew one another. The two met on the arrangement of the new Sovereign of Bel-Air during the 9s, yet separated in light of the fact that Jada was at that point in the image. Basically, that is what Boyd maintains, that everybody should accept any way there seems, by all accounts, to be another side to the separation story than everything B is saying to Annette. You meeting B gave a few clues about what truly made her leave the Will Smith boat, and it is frigid. It seemed like Will Smith was into some evil exercises that might have sabotaged B's vocation, or were as yet jeopardized her life. B's implied admissions come at the rear of Diddy's new misfortunes, and assuming that her words are to be accepted, then Hollywood and media outlets at large are no place of refuge for anybody. What did Boyd say that has created a firestorm on the web? And how can everything relate back to Diddy's supposed violations? What was hard was a portion of the things that I felt that I was over in retrying. It brought back certain sentiments practically like PTSD. I was unable to cherish that man any longer. Stay tuned to the end since I have all the lowdown here. Garcelle Beavius is a Haitian entertainer who featured in a few films and television sitcoms, including the Jamie Foxx show White House Down and Insect Man Homecoming. She's likewise a model who has swaggered the runway for top style originators and covered extravagance magazines, for example, Harper's Bazaar and Sheen magazine anyway. She's more popular for having confessed to dating Will Smith when he had quite recently begun as an entertainer in Hollywood. Her romantic tale with Will Smith is more important as a result of how it supposedly finished by her. She determined from a telephone discussion with the entertainer that one more woman was at that point in the image she called the new Sovereign of Bel-Air star one day while he was in the vehicle and hearing his oldest child, three-pointer whom he imparts to his ex-share Zampino botch her. For Jada Pinkett Smith, she wrote in her diary, "Love me, as I recall one day calling Will, and he was in the vehicle. Furthermore, his child and his ex-share were in the back." She shares, "So you realize he got the vehicle or Bluetooth or anything. It was once upon a time or speaker telephone, what it was. And he said, 'Hello, how are you doing?' And I said, 'I'm extraordinary.' She then, at that point, heard his child ask him, 'Is that Miss Jada on the telephone?' And that was the last thing that could possibly be tolerated. And that is the point at which I resembled, okay, I'm not the only one leaving stage left," she said. Many fans figured the model did something decent by leaving her sweetheart's life when she found that one more lady was there. If that shows up unrealistic, then it very well may be on the grounds that new disclosures propose that the explanations behind the separation go further than the iceberg that sank the Titanic. I mean, we've every single heard of young ladies grabbing the sweethearts of their BFs on the grounds that they weren't lawfully hitched, so nothing prevented B from chasing after her first love. The new ruler of Bel-Air entertainer had a few skeletons in his closet, which horrified Boyd. As per the grab plant, Boyd risked proof by proposing that Will Smith was doing some obscure business with Diddy, including the unlawful offer of ladies. It isn't evident whether the awful young men entertainer attempted to sell Boyd, yet what is sure is that the television individual found out and fled. Now, every one of these could sound silly, yet there is, by all accounts, an example that upholds B's supposed cases. Diddy and Will Smith have been companions for a really long time, having met around 1999 when the music big shot was dating Jennifer Lopez. Truth be told, both Diddy and Lo were extremely dear companions with Will Smith and Jada Pinkett. What's more, it was claimed that there was something heartfelt happening between the two couples. Inquisitively, Will Smith appeared to have an inclination for recoil and peculiar solicitations. This disclosure was made by Diddy's previous guardian, who affirmed that his manager once let him know Will Smith proposed a trio between him, Jada Pinkett, and Jennifer Lopez. He made sense of that, and Diddy guaranteed he planned to beat the damnation out of Will Smith for engaging in such unholy contemplations. When Diddy got some information about what his previous guardian said during his chance on Jimmy Kimmel, his response was sly, giving hints that there may be a trace of validity in the story. Now, GAN Arrangement's disclosures frightened a few fans on the grounds that, per what they realize, Diddy was the person who normally made odd solicitations, as he did with Cassie Ventura. You all reviewed when Cassie sued Diddy for driving her to lay down with different men while he watched. That's right. On the off chance that a man can obtain numerous men to compel themselves on his better half, then that man is fit for anything anyway. In GAN Arrangement's portrayal, it was Will Smith who supposedly asked for the trio with Jay. Lo, on the off chance that GAN arrangement's words are to be accepted, Will Smith isn't the man we as a whole believed him to be. It seems he double-crossed us by making it seem as though he was an upstanding man, when truly he was holding on to exceptional cravings. All things considered, what sort of man demands his companion permit him to lay down with his sweetheart and his significant other? Now I concur that what is going on seems like a corn film plot, yet that is the way bent Will Smith's world is. That is, if we have any desire to go by Jean Arrangement's words, mind you, I'm simply drawing specific occurrences that recommend that Diddy and Will Smith have had an association that goes past kinship to business partners, since, supposing that Smith had the certainty to make that odd solicitation, then it's conceivable he and Diddy had been having threesomes with their accomplices for some time. Consider what would make Will Smith sufficiently intense to move toward Diddy to permit Joe to go along with him and his better half for a trio in the event that they weren't at that point into it. Cassie's presently settled claim against Diddy gave the entire world a brief look at the shrewd that a few male VIPs do when the draperies are shut. She described frightening occasions that we just find in films, making him guarantee crazy, until Diddy raced to privately address any remaining issues, as indicated by the vocalist. Diddy constrained her to lay down with a few male roadwalkers while he stayed there and watched. Cassie wasn't simply any signee under the Awful Kid record name. She was Diddy's better half. So on the off chance that Diddy could supposedly give out his sweetheart to add up to aliens to visit their animalistic cravings on, he had it in him to hand over JLO to his tight pal with a royal flair. Now, on the off chance that Diddy and Will Smith were constraining their spouses and lady friends into laying down with others, they could too auction them after all they could harvest some cash from that adventure. Strangely, that is similar justification behind which the federal authorities assaulted Diddy's home in spring, as per news sources. Country security raged in Diddy's homes on the doubt that he was off ladies to be utilized as slaves all through the country. They held onto reconnaissance film from the house in an expansion to other electronic hardware to assist them with building a hermetically sealed body of evidence against the music head. Honcho Deep Throat sources near the case additionally demonstrate that different survivors of Diddy have been welcomed to support the examinations into the music big shot. Now the explanation I bring every one of these up is to lay out the way that Garcelle B's asserted allegations against Will Smith could be established on strong grounds since, supposing that Diddy and Will Smith are close buddies and they nearly share their spouses. Then, at that point, it's potential they are into other obscure businesses, and on the off chance that the S claims against Diddy are anything to go by, Will Smith could be in on the demonstration this fall now, as per existing court. T reports documented by Rodney Jones Jr. Diddy is running a ring that is into STI and tax evasion. Obviously, the claim doesn't notice different individuals separated from Diddy, yet given what Garcelle Beavius claimed about disclosures, Will Smith could be a central figure. Will Smith himself has languished comparative charges, as Diddy. Over the years, he has been blamed for laying down with men, an allegation that he has passionately denied. As of late, a man named Sibling Bilal, who clearly used to work for Will Smith, guaranteed that he once strolled into a room where Dwayne Martin was figuratively nailing Will Smith. I make the way for Dwayne's changing area, and that is the point at which I see Dwayne having sex with Will. Bill said there was a lounge chair, and Will was twisted around the sofa, and Dwayne was standing up and giving it to him. Curiously, both Will Smith and his significant other, Jada Pinkett Smith, recognized that they knew Sibling Bilal and that he eventually worked with Will on his cases, and, on second thought, faulted him for attempting to blackmail cash from them in a meeting on the Morning Meal Club. Jada called Sibling Bilal claims crazy. She proceeded, and this is an individual who attempted a cash investigation that didn't work. She then made a court move against Bilal in the event that he would not reclaim his articulations and issue an expression of remorse, since it's one thing to have your viewpoint about someone versus simply making up vulgar vindictive stories, so that is noteworthy. So we will move with that, said the 52-year-old. Here comes the fascinating part, as opposed to backtracking and saying sorry for his unguarded statements. Sibling Bal multiplied down trying to sue Jay. He told YouTuber Tasha K the explanation Will and Jada answered. They realized it's actual. They answered in under 9 hours. He understands what I found in that changing area. Jada, tune in about 14 days on the off chance that you don't sue me in. Subscribe She Spice for more videos.